In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Paramatma is taking Arjuna gradually from a situation of depression to a situation of enlightened activity. So initially he was totally functionalityless, and he had said that I will not do anything. So he had thrown the Gandiva Dhanus and he was remaining morose. I said, I will not do the yuddha, better I will go to the forest and take sannyasa, and through bhikshatana I would live. But due to Lord Krishna's very intellectually sound and systematic handling of Arjuna, Arjuna has now reached the higher levels of enlightenment. He has realized that his way of looking at things was not correct. So he is now trying to know more and more about the philosophy of life which Lord Krishna is preaching to him. So one important component of the Nivritta Karmanusthana, he says that you do your yuddha not for getting Rajya as such, but for the sake of pleasing Paramatma as a performance of duty. And so when Bhagavad Aradhana Buddhi is prescribed as an important element in the Nivritta Karmanusthana, the question comes as to why Bhagavan, why Bhagavad Aradhana. So Bhagavan himself tells Arjuna as to how he is the Supremo Supremorum. So he is the most highest level of entity among all beings, and Aradhana to him would provide the liberation from the bondages which he would be suffering from. In explaining as to why he is supreme, he says, my vibhutis, my special presence, manifestations are in so many objects. Visishta bhuti, bhuti means bhavanam, or if we take bhuti as sampat, then visishta sampat, that manifestation of his special prowess, special presence is found in a large number of objects. So he says this is what would be enabling you to realize that I am the most important personality.
Here it seems that Arjuna has a comorbidity also. Comorbidity means more than 2 disorders at a time due to severe stress. He might got more than 2 mental disorders, it seems. Anxiety phobia and also agoraphobia by looking at the masses and all. And Lord Krishna is trying him again and again, motivating him to not to distract and make his life fruitful to get self-actualization.
Yeah, absolutely. This is how you have only put it in the jargons of the modern psychology, but the approach is one of making Arjuna realize his original self and come out of the depression or the moha or his situation in which he was not able to do his own self, not function or perform as his own self. So in giving Vibhuti Yoga, his purpose is to tell to everyone, not only to Arjuna, that you have to accept that Paramatma is all pervasive. It is useful for every one of us in our everyday life. See, if we do not recognize that there is some extraordinary power governing the different objects of the universe, you will behave in a very atrocious manner or with a feeling of arrogance, haughtiness, and like a dictator. See, if we submit yourself to the supreme power, then you will remain modest and under your own control. To bring that attitude in him, Paramatma says that I am in every best of it. Vibhuti, as we learned earlier, is of 2 kinds, Pratyaksham, Tirohitam. Pratyaksha means he is clearly manifest, he is the supreme power, like Rama, Krishna, Vedavyasa, Kapila, etc. But Tirohitam means hidden, implied. So implied, how do you make out that there is special manifestation of Paramatma? He is there pervading every object, giving to it its properties, giving to it its existence. But in special objects, in certain objects in that category, his special, significant, explicit manifestation is there. The typical example is Nakshatra-nam aham shashi. I am the Chandra among the nakshatras. In all nakshatras he is there, but in Chandra his special manifestation is there. This is the typical example. Similarly, he gives a large number of examples, but he says my Vibhuti canvas is very infinite, but I will give you only some specific examples of that, so that you can infer that wherever you find something very extraordinary among different particular objects, my special manifestation is there.
Guruji, can this be related to the organizational hierarchy or the organogram, what usually HR prepares for the management, with all the heads of various departments placed and branched out, that organizational chart?
One can draw the analogy, as we stated earlier, in the place of Paramatma as the supreme head of the universe, you can keep the CEO of an organization in that category, though in a very, I should say, less appropriate manner, but the principles can be derived. So whenever there are certain significant tasks or challenges and significant positions, there the presence of Paramatma is there, means the dictates and the policy prescriptions of the CEO operate there. Without that, the particular heads who are handling particular tasks will not be able to function. So after all these objects are working under the command of Paramatma. See, Tena vina na trinamapi chalati, that is the basic broad principle. So he says that I am the Prabhasmi Shashi Suryayoho, I am the giver of the shining power in Chandra and Surya. We have to understand these statements in the proper perspective. Why we should say that it is due to the extraordinary power? It is because nobody else can claim to have created them. Of course, you can say the nature has created. Why should Paramatma claim his command over these objects? That nature or super power which is beyond each one of us itself can be called as Paramatma. So in Parama Atma, Atma means the individual self, Parama Atma means the highest or the more perfect individual self, Atma. This is Jivatma and Paramatma. So in that sense, of course, some philosophies say that Jivatma becomes Paramatma when Ajnana goes away. Some philosophies say that the medium through which Jivatma is separated from Paramatma is permanent, that is the Swarupopadhi, another is Ajnanopadhi. Due to them, the Aikya takes place. Jivatma becomes one with Paramatma.
And this Jivatma again and again takes birth.
Yes, Jivatma takes the birth in the form of getting new bodies, whereas Paramatma, being does not have the Prakritika body, he has got Satchidananda, he is Satchidananda Swarupa, Jnanananda Swarupa, therefore he has no body which can be transformed, and therefore he is the same as he is. Whereas Jivatma has got all the nashas, Anityatvam, Dehahanihi, Dukkha Praptihi, Apurnata, these are Chaturvidha nashas. The Anityatvam Jiva does not have, but Dehahani, Dukkha Prapti, Apurnata, Jiva has got. Paramatma has not got any of these four nashas, Chaturvidha Nasha Rahita. So this is how, but the niceties of philosophies of Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtadvaita are there. We need not really get into those controversies for the simple reason that we are discussing the application of the principles of Bhagavad Gita to our everyday life. Then there is not much difference in the different viewpoints, so to say, in my opinion. And the principles here are, in telling the Vibhuti, is that you must accept something as a powerful entity governing all the activities in the world, in the system.
The same principle can be applied to a family also, where the head of the family will be the
That's
supreme
right.
vibhuti,
Absolutely.
father or grandparents
yeah,
or mother.
yeah. So this coordinated organizational system which is governed, which is described for the universe as a whole, with Paramatma being the supreme authority, can be applied to the family, to the corporate sector, to the nation, to the system of governance, yes, to the system, to the institutions, to the system of governance at the national level, with the Prime Minister or the President being at the helm of the affairs, and all the designated ministers being in charge of different activities. So in that sense, we have to always take the principles involved. We need not really bother about the specific examples. He himself says that I am only giving some examples. You see, Brihat Satha Samnam Gayatri Chandasamaham Masanam Margasirshoham Ritunam Kusumakaraha. Among all the months, Margasirsha is very favorite to me. My special presence is in Margasirsha Masa, and Bhagavad Gita was preached in the Margasirsha Masa itself. On the Ekadashi day of Gita Jayanti comes on the Margasirsha Masa. Ritunam Kusumakaraha. Vasanta Ritu is supposed to be the most prominent Ritu. Then Dyutam Chalayatam Asmi Tejasvinamaham Jayosmi Vyavasayosmi Sattvam Sattvatamaham Chalayatam Dyutam Asmi. For those who are wanting to have games with Kapatya, Acharatam Krida Paratva Hetuna Dyutanama Dyutasthaha Asmi. That means you must see his presence in all activities, good or bad, and he governs, and he gives rewards to us as per our actions. Tejasvinamaham. Among those who are Tejasvi, for them Tejas is the most important thing. Like earlier it was said, Buddhir Buddhimatam Asmi. So Tejasvinamaham, Jayosmi, Vyavasayosmi. The victory is me, and Vyavasaya, the activity in every item, the Vyavasaya means Nishchaya, determination, is myself. Sattvam Sattvatamaham. Those who are endowed with prowess, the prowess is due to me. See, Vrishninam Vasudevosmi. I am Vasudeva in the Vrishnikula. See, because Vasudeva is the most prominent personality. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. He tells Arjuna, you are the most prominent person among the Pandavas. I am specially manifest in you. See, because it is through.
That's why they both called Naranarayana.
Naranarayana, yeah. But Dhananjaya, therefore it is through Dhananjaya that he manifested the knowledge base to the world as a whole. Muninam apyaham vyasaha kavinam ushana kavihi. Muninam api aham vyasaha. Among all the munis, Vedavyasa is considered to be the most prominent personality. Then Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Among all the Kavis or the Shastrajñas, Ushana Kavihi is Brihaspatiacharya, the guru for the gods. So I am saying my special presence is in Brihaspatiacharya, because Ushana Kavi, Brihaspatiacharya, considered to be the guru of the gods, and that status is given by me because of my special presence in Brihaspatiacharya. Then Dando Damayatam Asmi Niti Rasmi Jikishatam. Damayatam, that means those who exert or provide for the dandas, the punishments. So I am present in the punishments given by the implementers of discipline. So Bhiti Rasmi, Niti Rasmi Jikishatam, those who conquer, who are victorious, their policies, their approach to the problems, I am there present. Maunam Chaivasmi Gushyanam. Gushyanam, that means the things that are kept to be kept secret, I am the secret entity. Maunam Chaivasmi Gushyanam. Because if you start talking about the secret things, then the whole secretness would be lost. In fact, this is what The Kautilya's Arthashastra also says that you should never give up the secrecy of secret documents. And even when Bharata comes to Rama and Rama asks a number of questions, Rama gives Kachit Sarga. So there he asks Bharata whether you are keeping secrecy of the decisions taken by your Council of Ministers.
This is more applicable in defense.
Yes, no,
department
everywhere. In every walk of life, anything that is called as secret has to be kept secret. So in that context, the Yaksha, this Bharata coming to Rama, and Bharata, Rama's conversation with Bharata, as I told earlier, that is called as, that is the Kachit Sarga in the Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, and it deals with all the principles of governance. So what are the methods or what are the approaches to be adopted?
Better administration.
Better administration. In fact, Rama does not allow Bharata to tell him that Dasharatha is no more. Before he tells, he gives the details of the system of governance. Various principles are laid down in the conversation between Rama and Bharata. So one of them is, have you appointed the ministers properly? Have you kept the secrecy of the decisions taken by at the Council of Ministers? Then somewhat similar things are also found in the Yaksha Yudhishthira Samvada. The Yaksha and Yudhishthira, conversing with each other, Yaksha asks a number of questions and Yudhishthira answers them, and that in the Yaksha Yudhishthira Samvada also the principles of governance, the principles of happy living are laid out. You see, to give you for example, what is meant by Sanatana Dharma? Sanatana Dharma means the one which never gets destroyed and is always eternally valid for mankind. So what is Amrita? He says the cow's milk itself is Amrita, and like that a number of important messages are given in Yaksha Yudhishthira Samvada. And then he asks which is the tallest, even tallest than the Himalayas. Then he says than the earth. Then he says, Yudhishthira answers that mother is the tallest even compared to the earth. Hence more respectable and more tolerant is mother even compared to the earth. Bhumi.
Higher position.
Highest
position.
Yeah, highest position. So in that, in our system, in the scriptures, there are a number of messages in different contexts, and we should understand these messages in the proper perspective. So niti rasmi jigishitam maunam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavatamaham. For them the knowledge is the greatest strength for them. You see, yacchapi sarva bhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna na tadasti vina yasyat maya bhutam characharam. Then he sums up in a very beautiful statement. He says, whatever is the source for all the entities, it is me. And if you think that anything is there without me, then it cannot be either a charavastu or acharavastu. He puts it in a very riddle-like manner. Natadasti vina yatsat. Yat maya vina yatsat tat bhutam na characharam. So that cannot be either charavastu or acharavastu. That means such a vastu does not exist. So he uses sometimes such riddle-like statements to alert Arjuna, to make him remain alert while profound theories or principles are being laid out. See, natadasti vina yatsyat maya bhutam characharam. Yat maya vinasyat tat bhutam characharam na bhavati. So that means you cannot imagine anything which is not without my presence in it. You see, nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa eshatu uddeshatah prokto vibhuter vistaro maya. There is no end to my special vibhutis. Divyanam vibhutinam. He parantapa eshatu uddeshatah proktaha vibhutehe vistaro maya. So, I have told special examples of my vibhuti just for the purpose of illustration, and you can infer, because his presence is there in all the objects, and in that sense the vibhuti yoga is alerting you that you should recognize Paramatma in all the objects. And then yadyad vibhutimat sattvam srimad urjitam eva tattadeva avagachatvam mama tejonsha sambhavam. Whatever you consider as something special, something which has significant qualities, properties, you should infer that my special presence is there. Mama tejonsha sambhavam, that is born out of my small part of tejas. You see, athava bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham aham krishnam idam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. What more to say, what more to understand, what more to have the knowledge? Vishtabhya aham idam krishnam ekamshena sthitaha. So, I occupy this entire universe out of my one part and remain there to make the universe or all the objects to function as per the prescriptions. So, this vibhuti yoga narrated by Paramatma is supposed to be an extremely important part in the exercise of telling that he should do his nivritta karmanusthana with the orientation of Bhagavad Aradhana buddhi.
So, for any individual, the ultimate eternal peace, mental peace comes by practicing his religion and believing in his religion. That's what Einstein, the most intelligent brain in the world, also says, that one should believe in his own religion. So
no,
that's
yes,
what
that's what Krishna has said.
Yeah.
Swadharme nidhanam sreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. Even die in your own religion. See, dharma in that sense is to be interpreted as prescription of duties. See, because dharma in the modern jargon has been wrongly interpreted as religion, and religion as rituals. So,
simply giving donations and doing malpractices means it is not dharma.
It is not dharma, that is one. And then dharma for each person is the prescribed function. Interpreted in that way, it becomes very secular. Otherwise, if you interpret it as different religions are Hindu dharma, Muslim dharma, Christian dharma, Buddha dharma, of course, there also the names have come on the basis of the rules and the do's and don'ts that are prescribed in their respective scriptures. But dharma etymologically means prescription of duties. Dharayati iti dharma. Yeah, another way is dharayati iti dharaha. Dharaha miyate anena iti dharma. Dharaha means Paramatma.
One should play their own role.
Yes, one should play their own role, their own prescribed functions by the principles of dedication, to some complete attachment, commitment, and without any personal agenda, without any vanity, and with a robust and magnanimous objectives of serving the mankind and such.
This we can call Trikarna Shuddhi, sir?
Well, Trikarna Shuddhi is part of the process to enable you to perform your karma. That is why he says Antahkarana Shuddhi comes after you have done the Nivritta Karmanusthana for a long period of time. So, you will be doing it without excessive obsession about rewards. Trikarana Shuddhi is the means. So, Trikarana Shuddhi is required, and that can also be realized when you have done your duty continuously in the Nivritta Karmanusthana framework. So, if we recapitulate, the different adhyayas have endeavored, or rather have given the different components of the work culture for our everyday job. And the work culture implies that you must recognize the more robust objective and not bogged down by your personal agenda, and you must be clear about what are your prescribed duties, and your excessive obsession for the rewards will make you look to some dubious ways for getting the rewards and not feel committed to the performance of the functions, and then doing it without vanity that you are the performer. Swatantra kartatva abhimana rahitya would also make you perform.
So one should be sincere in their performing duties.
Absolutely, yeah. This is what ultimately the work culture is stated.